Hello and welcome to this James the Bike Guy, where today we've got in front of us something that's pretty unique and different than many of the bikes that we get to take a look at on this channel. And that is because this gravel bike is not any traditional gravel bike. It's set up with a Gates belt drive. That's right, no chain here. And you might notice a striking missing cassette and derailleur. And that's because everything's being shifted internally as well. So in this video, we're going to go into the unique features and designs of this bike, the Priority Apollo Gravel, talk about how it fits into the world, especially with a price point at $1899. Talking Priority Apollo Gravel. Now first, I'd like to mention that Priority is a direct-to-consumer brand that does also fulfill through some bike shops. They'll ship to your home, things like that. And it's been around for quite some time. And when it first came into the marketplace, my memory recalls that Priority was mostly based around making reliable commuter-style bikes. And as they've gone about, you've seen a few on my channel, from pinion drive bikes to this Gates belt drive with internal hub. Their mantra these days is about being simple and about having belt-driven bikes. And one of the big benefits to having these belt-driven bikes like this is that there's virtually no maintenance that needs to be done after it's set up. The belt drives do not require any specific types of cleaning or any type of lube, stuff like that. And then once it's set up and tensioned, they also don't stretch over time. So theoretically, once you get it set up, should be super low maintenance, staying back to their original mantra. However, as time's gone on, they've added more and more bikes that get fancier and more specific, like this Apollo Gravel in front of us. So this bike itself has a 6061 aluminum frame. It does feature internal cable routing, rack mounts on the back. We've got a triplicate top tube mount, which I like to see. Oftentimes it's just two, and then a standard mount for down tube water bottle and seat tube water bottle. Although it makes me wonder, if they were able to add the triplicate up top, why not down below, where you could lower your water bottle if you wanted to, run a larger water bottle, fit a frame bag in? That just seems like a funny oversight. But you do have down tube water bottle mounts on the underside of that down tube, a threaded bottom bracket, and then something unique to belt drives, because of course this belt is not able to be, split or taken off in the traditional sense. This frame is split right down the middle on the drive side. So that's why you've got these two bolts right there that almost look like chainring bolts. That's allowing you to separate the frame to be able to pull the belt off. And then also, because there is no derailleur, it has a sliding adjustment for tension on the belt. So you pull the tire back to where it gets taut, be able to bolt it down or tighten it up. And then it does use these adjusters on both sides, so you can make sure that you align this 40 millimeter tire into the frame. And I should mention, it does come with a 40, and I think that's pretty close to the max that you'll be able to fit on this bike, because it is quite snug in there, even with this 40 millimeter Goodyear Connector Ultimate that's tubeless ready right out of the box. It does look like it's set up with tubes when it ships, but because it's on some WTB ST I-23 rims, that is a tubeless ready rim, I imagine you'll be able to set them up tubeless with just a little bit of effort. Now, out back, you'll notice that rear hub is an internal 11-speed hub. It's from Shimano's Alpine series, which is the commuter series from Shimano, really prioritizing maintenance-free applications. And then the shifting is done on the front in these combined shift and brake levers. So the top button puts you to harder gear. Bottom button will push you to an easier gear, one at a time. There is a double click on the big paddle to go to an easier gear. But a couple of things to mention here. First, while this is branded as Priority, my spider senses tell me that this looks like a microshift shifter. Nothing wrong in that. I mean, they are branding it their own. And on the left side, because there's no front derailleur, it's just brake only. But the other cool thing with an internally geared hub is you can shift it at a stop. So you come to a stop, you're in the wrong gear. You're not damaging anything when you shift it, unlike a traditional derailleured bike. The trade-off, of course, is in back. It's a 409% gear range, no front derailleur on this, so it's got a more limited gear range than a traditional gravel bike, and as you'll see when we weigh it, internally geared hubs do come at a cost of both weight as well as rolling efficiency. Now, speaking of rolling efficiency, let's talk brakes real quick, because as you're flying down the trail, you do need to slow down. And that's a place of another interesting parts selection for this bike. So this is a 174 Hudson brake, which I'm not familiar with that brand or model, but it's interesting because what we have here is cable actuated pressing in on a hydraulic piston for a hydraulic 2-piston brake. It's kind of a hybrid combo setup. You do have a adjustment as far as the amount of reach that's required to get these pads to work. And messing with the bike, it does feel like it's going to be adequate, but not quite as nice as, say, you would get with a traditional Shimano or SRAM hydraulic disc brake. But those are all of the features that really make this Priority Apollo Gravel a unique fit inside of the gravel bike lineup. And as we get it weighed, I want you to leave a comment down in the comment section below. How do you think this stacks up? If you were spending $1,899 on a gravel bike, how does this stack compared to some of the others? The actual weight of the Apollo gravel bike from Priority comes in and weighs 25.92 pounds. Well, thanks again for joining me to check out this Priority Apollo Gravel. It's a unique bike in a world of gravel bikes. So go ahead and leave me those thoughts down in the comment section below. And while you're at it, be sure to hit subscribe so that way you can see more videos like this in the future.